And so the season began.
A very promising position conceded by Tom Lees.
Saved his fair share of penalties in the European Championships.
Battling hard to win it again. What about that? A quality goal.
Green through here. Woods makes the save. But here's Dane Whitehouse. It's 1-0 to Sheffield United.
Dean against Schmeichel. No problem.
Find this crossing by Bray, but it's in. And the volley, and it's in from Sherman.
Hello and welcome back to the Red Cassette. Now, with Sheffield United's deal with Adidas coming to an end this month, I thought it'd be nice to have a look back at some of the home kits that they made for us over the years. So we're going to go all the way back to 2014, right the way through to 2022 to have a look at all the different home kits that Adidas have produced. But before we get into it, I have a little bit of trivia that I shall be asking you. So, when was the first time Sheffield United Football Club ever played a match in an Adidas kit? Have a think, stick around to the end of the video, and you'll find out then. So, let's jump straight in. So, first up, we've gone all the way back to 2014-15 season with this little number here. Now, I've really had to squeeze into this one because at the time, I think I was, 12. So, this is a shirt from when I was 12. Now, what do we reckon to it? So, first of all, a little bit of context for you. So, we were in League One. We just had Macron as the kit manufacturer for the past few years, and this was Adidas's first attempt at making a kit for Sheffield United. The manager was Nigel Clough, and at the end of the season, spoiler alert, we did lose 5-5 to Swindon in the playoff semi-final second leg, which meant that we didn't progress on to Wembley, and that ultimately saw the sacking of Nigel Clough. So, what players does this remind me of? Well, it reminds me of Basham, Baxter and Louis Reed. I don't know why. They might be different for you. Please do comment down below what sort of players that these shirts remind you of. So, what do I like about this? Well, I like the 3 red stripes. I think that's the perfect, Sheffield United design, if that makes sense. But a white stripe either side of here would maybe have looked better. I don't think there are enough stripes across this shirt. I seem to remember at the time Adidas and a lot of the punditry around this shirt was saying that it's going to be inspired by an old one, but I can't think for the life of me what old shirt this is inspired by. It looks nothing like anything that came before it, really. Now, what do I dislike about it? Well, it's very 2014. Just the design, the fact that there's these big lines in the sleeves. The Adidas badge in the middle, the Sheffield United badge looks really small and off. I don't know, it needed to either be Sheffield United badge here and the Adidas badge either above or below it, or just them placed normally, if that makes sense. The collar's a bit odd. I don't really understand this sort of V-neck design. I think a few teams had it. I think Brentford, in fact, had a very, very similar kit that season. I think theirs was mostly accented with black rather than the white and red that we had. And the sponsor's rubbish. It just looks a bit crap. John Holland Motors. I've never met the bloke. I'm sure he's a lovely chap. The sponsor, not so good. And the rear sponsor is in blue and white. And that's just a no-no for me. Even though we've had some sponsors like that in the back. So my overall rating for this shirt, unfortunately, is only 2 out of 5. But we'll move on now to the next shirt. So here it is, the 15-16 season. You knew that it'd rear its ugly head at some point. Now, in all fairness, this shirt isn't as bad as the memories that accompany it, but we're going to be looking at it from two standpoints. So, just for a bit of context, League One again, awful season, finished 11th. I think it was our lowest finish in 40 years since we won the 4th division. It was the lowest finish since then. It's not good memories with this shirt. Not good memories at all. So players that it reminds me of, people like Martin Wolford, Dean Hammond, Connor Salmon. All of these players, admittedly Billy did play in this shirt, but what I'm going to try and do is come up with an original 3 players for each shirt, if that makes sense. So Sharp will come later. But yeah, those are the sort of players I think about when I look at this shirt. And it's a shame because it is, the things I do like about this shirt is it's an homage to history. I think it probably ought to have been an away shirt more than a home shirt, but I think it does have quite a classy design. You can't really argue with that with the collar and stuff. I do like having a collar on a shirt. The nice thing about it is the sponsor as well looks much better on this shirt than it did on the previous one. The previous one, it was more of a flat all one piece, whereas with this one, the bits are all separate. And I also like the red stripes down the sleeves and stuff. I think that's good. The only issue is, again, the sponsor on the back is in blue and white, which is no, not good. So what do I dislike about this kit? Well, other than the memories, of course, the fact it allowed other teams to play in red at Bramall Lane. For example, I think we played Bristol City and they played in their home kit at Bramall Lane. That just felt wrong, and it still feels wrong even when you watch the clips back. There's other stuff as well, like the lack of a top button. So it's got a button-up collar, fair enough. Right, there's one press button there. Where's the top one? Why is there no top one? I can remember that annoying me at the time, and it still annoys me to this day. So for a rating for this one, unfortunately, it's a 2 out of 5. Maybe a bit harsh. Maybe if it was an away kit, it'd have been rated higher. But for a Sheffield United home shirt, this one misses the mark. So from a season of nightmares to the season we all love, the Centurions season, the season when we won League One on 100 points. What a great season. And the shirt that went with it was much improved. So, of course, while Chris Wilder comes in, completely revitalises the club, and this is the shirt that he does it with. Now, what are the players that I think of when I see this shirt? Well, I think of Coots, Leon Clark, Kieran Freeman, people like that who really came alive in this shirt. What do I like about it? Perfect amount of stripes, as I said earlier. The 3 red stripes, 2 white stripes down the middle. But I also like with this shirt the fact that they have carried on the stripe a little bit down there. I have always found it a bit odd though how it cuts off, and I think on extra large shirts it looks even weirder. That's my only major gripe with this shirt, with the stripes. And of course the best thing about this shirt is the memories in it. We really did romp that division that season, apart from the first 4 games, but we'll not talk about those. What do I dislike about it? So there are, of course, I'm being very enthusiastic about this shirt because of what we've just looked at and what we're looking at now. Bit basic. It is very basic in its design. It does the job. I was never keen on the black shoulders. I always thought they looked a bit weird. I never quite got the point in them. And Alpha Rooms. Who are they? I've never heard of them since. And also, this always just annoys me, and I think this is just because I'm a bit of like a punctuation and grammar Nazi, but the fact it doesn't have a capital A on Alpha, it's just always annoyed me. And those are the only things that really let this shirt down. Overall, I feel like I've been a little bit harsh with the rating on this one, but I'm giving it 3 out of 5. Controversial, but you'll soon see why I think it's a 3 and not a 4 or 5. Let's get on to the next shirt. So here we have it, and straight off the bat I'm going to say that I think this might well be the best shirt Adidas ever made for us. It's the 17-18 season. It's absolutely gorgeous. For context, again, Chris Wilder's the manager. It's our first season back in the Championship, and at the end of it we finish a fairly respectable 10th. However, we were very much in the hunt for promotion that season. So of course we beat Wednesday 4-2 in this shirt, and then there was a very forgettable 0-0 draw at Bramall Lane in this shirt, but the 4-2 game was just better. So what kind of players does this remind me of? Well, Billy Sharp has to be. He scored 34 goals that season. We've also got George Baldock and Mark Duffy. Of course, Mark Duffy for that goal against Wednesday at the Stye. And this shirt just epitomises that season, and I think it was one of the best shirts we've had by Adidas. So what do I like about it? I love the thick black stripes between the red, white and red. Again, I think that looks fantastic. Three red stripes, again, perfect. That's what we want to see. It looks right, if that makes sense. I also like the sponsor. Not very often I'll say this because I think often sponsors ruin shirts, but this one is fantastic. Teletext Holidays. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just makes me think of Peter Kay. I just think it's funny. I also like the really simple but effective round neck, if that makes sense. It's just, yeah, I could talk for hours about how much I like this shirt. The only dislike I really have is the solid black sleeves. I feel like just, I don't know, stripes on the sleeves or just something other than solid black would have made this just that bit better. But because that is the only gripe, this is the 5 out of 5 shirt. I can't rate it any lower. It is a 5 out of 5. What can I say? Beautiful. So moving on, we are at the 18-19 home shirts. So this season, of course, promotion to the Premier League. We finished second in the Championship. Could have won the Championship, but if results had gone a slightly different way, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. What are the players that this shirt reminds me of? Well, first of all, Ollie Norwood for some reason. Just kind of when I think of this shirt, I think of him. Enda Stevens. Not quite sure why, but it just does make me think of him. John Egan as well. This shirt kind of just reminds me of him a fair bit. And going a bit left field here, but Gary Medine, his redemption season. He's as a character in a film, Gary Medine's redemption arc would win Oscars with Sheffield United fans. The fact that he went from one of the most hated players in our club's history, not hated as in like played for us and was hated, I mean was hated just because of what he'd done with other clubs, to one of the most adored. Classic shithousery as well, of course, when he gets off the bus and starts singing Mind the Gap. Mind the Gap, Sheffield is here. That's why it makes me think of Gary Medine. I think he only actually scored 2 goals for us that season, but he did sign at Christmas, so we'll cut him a bit of slack there. What do I like about it? I kind of like the V-neck. I think it looks cool. Sometimes I think a V-neck is too low, and then that just makes me feel a bit weird, but this one's, I would say, the perfect angle, if that makes sense. The thinner stripes, I know some people are a bit unsold by thin stripes. I think, yeah, fair enough, it can look a bit like a butcher's outfit. But I think with this one, a little bit different. I wouldn't want it every season, but I think with this one, it makes sense. And finally, the material is absolutely gorgeous. It's such a nice feel to this shirt. It feels really quality in that. It's certainly one I like to take on holiday purely for that reason. It's very breathable. What do I dislike? The sponsor, Ramsden's Currencies. I've used the word crap because it is. The fact it's on one plate is very annoying. On the away kit, the letters are all separate. But on this, and the fact it's green and white, I don't know, it just looks a bit pants, essentially. It was nice when they started selling versions of the shirt without the sponsor on it in the closed season, which I never picked up, which I ought to have done because they're only like a £5. I also think the all-white back, this was one of the first shirts that we had under it. Well, it was the first shirt under Adidas that didn't have stripes on the back. I just think it looks really plain and really weird. And yeah, just generally it is a little bit basic, if that makes sense. To quote, was it Gareth Crooks who said that about Sheffield United in the first Premier League season? We proved him wrong.
I think the style of football is quite basic.
So overall, rating for this one, 3 out of 5. Next up, we've got the Premier League. So here we go. Here we are after, I think, 13 years-ish, 12 or 13 years hiatus from the Premier League. Sheffield United return, and of course, the first thing I went to do is get the Premier League badge, put on the Premier League shirt. So, of course, this is the 1920 season. We finished in the Premier League 9th, having been very much in the battle for Europe for a vast majority of the season, being as high as 5th, and at one point I think we could have gone 4th. So it was a very, very successful season, and Adidas definitely delivered with this shirt. Well, when I see this shirt, I think of players like Jack O'Connell, John Fleck, and Lys Mousset. Of course, Lys Mousset put in a fantastic display against, I think it was Chelsea, in this shirt. So what do I like about this? Well, it just screams Premier League. It looks like a Premier League shirt. I love the red sleeves. I think the red sleeves look really, really cool. I think it's a nice touch. I also like the stripe width. I talk a lot about stripes, but again, 3 stripes and 3 white stripes. Perfect. And the blades little thing that it says blades on the back of the neck, just I think that just finishes it off. My main dislikes, pinstripes, needs them. Perfect for the pinstripes, this shirt. I think that would have just really completed the look. And also the USG, the flag on the USG logo. Now I thought this at the time, and I must admit I think it looks worse on pictures. But the stripes on the flag sort of clash with the stripes of the shirt. Admittedly, the flag is a very different shade of red to the stripe shade of red. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the USG logo does sort of clash a little bit, and that's the only thing that really brings this shirt down. But overall, I'm going to give it a rating of 4 out of 5. It's very good. So from a season of triumph to a season of, well, nightmares, really. There's no other way to put it. It was an awful season. Of course, this is the 2020-2021 shirt. The season robbed off us by COVID. I think I was one of only around 5,000 people to actually see Sheffield United play in this shirt in the flesh. Of course, most games, in fact all games, apart from the Burnley game at the end of the season, were on television only. And very, very few people could actually go into the ground. So, players that this makes me think of, I really struggled with this because I think, like most Sheffield United fans, we've tried to put this season very much out of our memory. Makes me think of Ethan Ampadu, who we had on loan, centre-back, mediocre, didn't rate too much of him. David McGoldrick, of course, who was the only real shining light in that season, scoring, I think, 8 goals, becoming our top goal scorer. And Ben Osborne, just because, yeah, he seemed to do a lot that season. Again, one of the only real shining beacons of any sort of hope. So what do I like about this shirt? Now, this is difficult because this is possibly one of the worst shirts. In fact, it is the worst shirt, the home shirt that Adidas ever brought out for us. The USG logo looks better than it does on the other shirt. I think it clashes with the stripes less, if that makes sense. And I like the sleeves. I think the pattern on the sleeves is cool. That is literally it. Dislikes. Overall, the template is shocking. I hate this template. Even Wales had it with the stupid big thick collar and the what's that all about? Why does the pattern end there? Stuff like that. I think there were a few clubs that had a similar template, and I just thought it looked atrocious, essentially. So overall, the less said about this, the better. I'm giving it 1 out of 5. Shocker. Get in the bin. Right, and here we are at the last shirt, the last home shirt, made by Adidas for Sheffield United. Now, I think this is possibly their best, or certainly second best. I know I said the 17-18 shirt was the best, but this one and that one, both very, very good. So we finished 5th in the playoffs, and of course were defeated by Forest, who are now in the Premier League, and it should have been us, but we'll not talk about that. We started off the season with Slavisa Jokanovic. Fortunately, that didn't really work out, and we got Heki and back as first team manager, and miraculous run of form, and we ended up 5th, very much in the playoffs. So, what are the players that this makes me think of? Well, I think Sander Berger really came into his own in this shirt. I also, of course, you can't not mention Morgan Gibbs-White, who, please come back, Morgan. Don't go to Forest. Why would you do that? You hate Forest. They thumped us. Not thumped us on the pitch, I mean, their fans were violent. And also Jack Robinson, which I know is left field, but I feel like everyone wrote him off. Most people were like, I never want to see him in a Sheffield United shirt again after the Premier League season and after, to be fair, the start to the season he made. But turned it round, top class professional, good player, even admitting to himself that his time at Sheffield United had been the hardest in his career. So hats off to the fella. He did well, he did good, and yeah, this shirt definitely reminds me of that. So what do I like about it? Well, I like the pinstripes. The fact that they're not actually between the stripes, they're actually just slightly inside the red stripes. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Although Adidas did try to pass that off as an authentic, only Sheffield United have got that. However, LA Galaxy's away shirt is the exact same template and has the exact same pinstripes, just in different colours. I'll show you an image now. So we were lied to, essentially. But still looks good. I like the Adidas logo. Pointing at the wrong side. The Adidas logo, I think, looks really cool. I like the outlining in white. I think that looks just right. I also really like the Blades badge in the shield on the back of the neck. That sort of Blades badge in a shield has really come back, and I mean, you saw me at the start of the video wearing a shirt that had the Blades badge in the shield. Very 90s, and to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if it was on the new kits, or at least the home shirt. The shield imagery has very much come back, and it's on the back of this shirt, and I think that looks quite cool. Quite a nice little thing. But overall, I think this is essentially an improvement on the 1920 shirt. I know a lot of people said that when it was released this time last year. It's very similar, but different in good ways. For example, the pinstripes, the white detail instead of the black. The sponsor looks a little bit better, I think, although it is maybe a little bit big. And that is one of the things, dislikes. The sponsor is a little bit big, and overall I think the shirt, it sounds a bit odd, but I think it is the cheapest made shirt of them all. Like, the material doesn't feel as nice as some of the earlier Adidas shirts. And also I don't know if this is just mine, but the badge has become a little bit like, not deformed, but it doesn't quite lie flat anymore. I do feel like this is the cheapest produced Adidas shirt we've had, but it is still very nice, and I'm going to give it 5 out of 5, so we really are finishing on a high. So that is it. We've worked our way through every single Adidas home shirt released by Sheffield United since 2014. So, what do you think? Do tell us if you agree with my ratings, or if you think I'm talking absolute horse trollop, then please do, again, have an argument with me. But yeah, so we're going to return to the little bit of trivia that I asked you about at the start of the video. So, I asked, when was the first time Sheffield United Football Club played a competitive game in a Adidas kit? Now, many of you will have probably thought, well, 2014 when we signed the kit deal, but no, you are wrong. It was actually the 6th of February 1982 away at Colchester United. Now, the story goes that the kit man had either brought the home shirt or had forgotten the away shirt, essentially. And we couldn't play in red and white for whatever reason against Colchester United. So we actually turned out in their away strip. It's an all-red affair with black stripes down the sleeves. Hopefully you'll see a little bit of a clip from that game, as it was featured on Match of the Day. It was in the 4th Division, and it was one of only 4 defeats that season. We lost something like 5-2. It was a ridiculous game. There'll be a link in the description if you do want to watch the Match of the Day coverage of that game. So, thank you very much for watching. That is it all from me. Be sure to subscribe, like, do tell us what you think about my decisions regarding these kits. If you think that my ratings are absolute rubbish, then call me out on it, essentially, and tell me what you think were the best. Also, look out for the away kits video, which hopefully will be coming out quite soon. I'm just going to go and film it now. So, other than that, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video.
Oh, Edwards! 62 minutes gone, and Keith Edwards gets one back for Sheffield United. Made on the right by Steve Neville.